Hi, my name's Reverend Hope. This is my channel, The Barefoot Reverend. I'm a spiritual advisor with a special interest in marriage and relationships. I am by no means an expert, but I have some interesting ideas to share with you about love, relationships, and friendships. Especially today, we are going to be talking about friendships. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you get a call from that one friend who only wants to see you because they need something from you? Or perhaps they need your help, and perhaps every time they call you, they need some help? How about a boss that often takes advantage of his position to ask for extra favors at the job without compensation? If you've had any friendships, you would know that many of them end up like this. Many friendships and relationships of all kinds, relationships including friendships, any connection that you make with another person, run into the issue of instrumentality, or a utilitarian kind of friendship. We often find ourselves doing something because we stand to gain or benefit from it. We work so we can get a paycheck. We deal with, and hopefully cooperate with, other people at work because doing so proves beneficial, on the way to meet our desired goal, which is to get paid. Does this mean that we're using other people, the other people that we work with, as a means to an end in order to gain something purely for ourselves? Short answer is yes. We use our coworkers and our bosses as a means to an end, and any seeming friendship that we may have with them at work suddenly and quickly fades away when the context of work is removed. The relationship we have with our coworkers is instrumental and utilitarian, and it only changes if we start to make connections with them outside of the working context. This brings me to this first part of instrumentality and using people as a means to an end. If you'd like to support me, be sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and follow me on my Substack for some more helpful content. Okay, let's say we become friends with the people that we work with outside of work. Does that mean we're no longer using them for our own personal gain? The answer isn't necessarily yes. We may find joy in similar interests and shared activities with friends outside of work, and this also applies to all friendships. But that doesn't mean that we don't use those friends for something that is only serving to benefit us. We don't see them for who they truly are. We see them rather for the purpose of gaining something, or we see them for the benefit that they bring to our lives. Only. The foundation of the friendship is based on that benefit. And that's what it means to use somebody instrumentally. Aristotle believed that there were two forms of instrumental friendships that comprise most of the friendships that we have. There is a third form, which he considered to be the only true friendship. This he called soul friendship. Soul friendships are exceedingly rare. They're the kind of deep relationship which some may call soulmates, but these also exist outside of the romantic context. The difference between soul friendships and instrumental friendships is the fact that soul friendships hold the quality of unconditionality. There is an acceptance of who the person is for who they actually are, and not just on a superficial level. This kind of friend is the one who will always have your back, but also know when to give tough love or to put up boundaries. They will accept you in the most difficult of situations without judgment and choose to continue being your friend despite whatever you may be going through or whatever they may be going through. However, even then there is still a sense of instrumentality, although it does not form the basis of the relationship. When I say that people use one another for their own personal gain, you might be thinking of people who are narcissistic or perhaps even psychopathic. But there actually needs to be an element of practical use or benefit even for the closest of friends, for reasons that we'll explore and discover in other topics in other videos. Narcissistic psychopaths are no friend to you, and if you know them to be as such, then you know this fact, because you've likely been burned by them. They use people instrumentally, but without consideration for anyone else's well-being. The really dangerous people have little regard for the safety of the people that they use. They're not really the type of person I'm talking about when I say that we use other people instrumentally. Let's take a perspective from Immanuel Kant to hopefully give us a little clarity. According to Kant, using anyone as a means to an end is morally reprehensible. This is because he believes that people have natural rights to liberty, and that people should use those rights to strive for something greater than themselves. Kant might not consider working for somebody else simply for a paycheck to be the right thing to do, because you're simply using people as a means to an end. The problem here is the end in question. Should one work just for a paycheck? Or should one find work that is meaningful and aligns with the sense of higher purpose that is beneficial to not only the person doing it, but the people with whom you work? Adam Smith believes that if people had what he called an impartial spectator, that people would strive to be their best and do better for other people. This would make even the most mundane jobs have some sense of meaningful purpose, because each person in the workplace is no longer just using one another, but they are rather cooperating at a higher level that it is in a way that is beneficial to all involved. While this sounds idealistic, and it totally is completely idealistic, not many people take the time to reflect on their own actions, much less keep in mind a third-party spectator to help guide them towards making better decisions. In the book, The Meaning of Friendship, author Mark Vernon laments the fact that as long as jobs and workplaces are focused on commercialism above all else, then it really won't be possible to establish anything beyond an instrumental and utilitarian friendship. This presents a moral dilemma, one which extends beyond the workplace. We live in a highly commercialized society. The friends people often rely on are those who are far from what Aristotle considered to be soul friends. Kant might say that the state of our friendships and relationships is in a state of immorality because we are all in service to something lesser than our best selves. We are too focused on egoistic individuality, material gain, luxury comfort, extreme convenience, all things belonging to the world. It might very well be that the ability to form soul friendships is next to none, because it seems that we have lost sight of the values that true friendships comprise. If we want to be able to connect with people in a more enriching way, we have to be able to think about what truly makes a friendship and what that connection entails. Instrumentality is a part of all friendships, but if we consistently have friends that only serve an external purpose, such as work friends, or friends that are bound by some interest or activity, then we will continue to feel like something is missing from our connections. If you want to test the quality of your friendship, ask yourself, would there still be a connection if everything between you and this other person is stripped away? If the friendship falls apart, then it was an instrumental and utilitarian friendship to begin with. But if the friendship remains, you may have something that is worth holding on to for dear life. This is the end of this video for now. There's so much more to talk about in regards to instrumentality, how people use one another, different aspects of life. I focused a lot on the workplace here, and I started to get into the moral aspects of human connections in general. I've only just started to get into the books that I'm using as references, The Meaning of Friendship, The Nicomachean Ethics, and Immanuel Kant. So there's still a lot for me to learn yet, and there's still a lot more that I want to share. There's so much that I couldn't wait to sink my teeth into it and to start to share and to start to produce this information, because I look around and I see the state of our friendships and relationships in total chaos. And I think the effects of that are perhaps more far-reaching than it might even seem or appear to be. We live in a society that has pretty much accepted the fact that half of marriages fail. It's pretty much accepted that traditional relationships are no longer the popular thing. There's been such a drastic and sudden shift in the way that we make friends, especially with technology and social media, ever since, 2006, 2008. That shift has skyrocketed, changed so drastically. So now, more than ever, it's really important to look at the values that connect our friendships, the values and principles that we hold for ourselves that serve as the foundation to connect us to other people in a meaningful and purposeful way. So I have a lot more about this topic that I'd like to talk to you about, so thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more videos like this, and if you could, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and follow me on my Substack. Thank you. Until next time.